Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Coming to you almost live from the dreadful caves of Dread in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, it's the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 129. It is May 29th, and I'm your host, Bill. Oh gosh, I love shooting through cover, Castello. And with me today,
all the way from Chakrick's Folly in Akshi, is Joshua, never been chipped, Alt.
Oh, very passive-aggressive.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Updates after dark.
Yeah, not going to bore anybody with it, but I'm working on week 8. You're working on what? Week 3?
Yeah. 4.
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully today's show is not going to be the 2-hour monstrosity that the last one was. I think today we're gonna cover some of the new Dawn stuff, a little bit of creativity. We just have a couple things in battle, little things, and then we're going to push into the lore where we're going to talk about 2 different things. The Nighthaunt Path to Glory setup from the new Nighthaunt Codex Battle Tome. Yeah, I'm mixing my metaphors. And,
Battle Decks Co-Tome.
Yeah, Co-Tomes. As a special, Josh is going to go over the Echoes of Doom sort of narrative book that came with it, with the scenarios and all the stuff. Or the set just released yesterday, and as promised, Josh and I split it. So it's going to be something kind of interesting, and it foreshadows the 2 new books a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to kind of go over some of this. There's a lot of character in the book itself. So even if you're not, too keen on the models, too keen on the factions, but you like the lore, just see if you can find someone in the Echoes of Doom book and be like, hey, bro, can I just read the story? And watch them go, what? But yeah, no, it's really interesting. It's really short, but it's definitely more foreshadowing than anything else.
Yeah. Gives us something to look forward to for those 2 books that are going to hit hopefully shortly. God, I hope it's shortly. So, let's jump out into New Dawn and what came out yesterday. Well, of course, Echoes of Doom, which is the Sylvan Skaven box. As mentioned a second ago, we split that box pretty down the middle. I was surprised you didn't want the markers, man.
I never use them. I never use the markers.
Okay.
It's just wasted cardboard. Someone else can use it, or it can be recycled. Then
I will.
There you go. No need to complain there.
Yep. We left the pocket-sized rule book at the store for anybody that might want a copy of it. So yeah, it was a good deal. Nice to lighten the cost of that box just a little bit, because they're getting pricey.
Even then, we thought it was going to be more than it was. Yeah. Probably about $20.
Yeah.
It was only like $195.
Yeah, $195.
Yeah. Not
and
too shabby.
Then the box I ordered for Kill Team was $210. So that's just, I guess there's no terrain in this box, so it is kind of overpriced. No, but really, when you think about it, I got the Kurnoth Hunters, the Lady of Vines, who will probably be $35, $40 on her own.
Oh no, she's a Drycha.
Oh yeah,
level model, so $45.50 at least.
$45.50, yeah, and then Durthu, who weighs in at 60, right?
It's the Tree Lords?
Yeah,
I think so.
60, and then the 3 Kurnoth Hunters are 55, I think. So honestly, yeah, that's a 150-ish worth, and I paid less than 100 plus got extra cards and what have you. So yeah, the box is a good deal. Of course, it's sold out. So.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff that came out yesterday was like the Middle-earth strategy battle game, got the Defense of the North book, so some much-needed infusion of new cool stuff for Middle-earth strategy battle game.
40K got a big infusion for Adeptus Custodes.
Jesus.
So now if you want Adeptus Custodes army, you just buy 3 of the combat patrols, Trajan Valoris, and then whatever little bits and bobs you want to throw into.
Yeah, I saw somebody's story yesterday with 2 of those boxes in his hand. You know where he's going.
Yeah. Blade Champion dropped with it, and then the the Saboteur.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, for the Gene Stealer cult. That dropped. It felt like a light week, to be honest.
I think filler week.
Yeah.
You know, just let's round out some of these different factions and what have you. And you can kind of understand it, just the ability to get product out to the distributors and into the stores and out everywhere. It's just sometimes you have to have a breather week. So it's fair enough.
And of course, we had the pre-orders from yesterday.
Yes.
We'll find out what the pre-orders are. News at 11. But yesterday was like a smattering. It felt like
all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the Necromunda Ash terrain was already broken out into kits. I think that's the fastest I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, it's hot on the heels. Ash Waste only came out less than a month ago, and now the individual kits, maybe they are learning that not everybody wants to buy these big mega boxes. But they want all the stuff.
Yeah. Particularly in Necromunda, I remember almost every Necromunda player I know was like a terrain junkie.
Yeah.
Because in a way, like the terrain's cooler than playing the game. You just get to interact with the cool stuff that you made with some models that look all right.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. Kill Team Morok came out. That's, pre-ordered. Space Marine Phobos armor versus the Traitor Guard. And it'll include the Fronteras terrain. So, I think everyone's hyped about the Guard.
Yes.
But I haven't heard anyone who's like, oh, yeah, more Phobos.
Yes, Phobos armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I wanted that medic Phobos arm.
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
man. I have been so looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay.
If you want Phobos and you don't have Phobos, I'd say these are the better ones because they're a little bit more dynamic than the ones that come in the normal box. Just a little bit, but not by much.
And again, this is just going to be one of those things where it's great fodder for doing your conversions, doing everything else for your main army. And also, if you're just in a kill team, this is perfect because if you don't want to be buying into any of that other stuff, did I say crap? Yeah. That's perfect for that. So
speaking of crap, Chaos Knights Codex.
Oh man.
Chaos Knights Codex, the cards, the War Dogs, and the Abhorrent kit.
Yeah.
When I say abhorrent, it's got the Abominant, the Desecrator, and the Rampager all in there. You'll be able to build out any of those kits. Essentially, they just broke apart the night box.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that in battle. I played a lot of Chaos Knights the last few weeks at the 3-week-long 40K event at the store.
Extravaganza.
Had a lot of fun. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, that stuff's exciting. Chaos Knights are just a good time. And by my estimation, probably the most balanced book to come out in 40K.
Really?
Because they're real strong, but they have their known weaknesses. And so it's not like you just put them on the table and you're like, God, I'm not going to be able to beat this guy. There's going to be a scrap. The thing is, what I found with the Chaos Knights is that they're a little bit more scrappy.
I think they got the better of the deal between the Imperial Knights and the...
Oh, yeah.
I think the Chaos Knights won that deal.
Well, I think part of the Knight stuff, too, is they made it very fluffy.
Yeah.
Particularly the Imperial Knights with... I don't know, man. I'll say that stuff for After Dark.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have some impressions about the Imperial Knights and their, not just the heraldry, but their squires and stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was a decent enough week.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's a little bit all over the place. I know the general consensus was that having the Ash Waste box blown out like it did made a lot of Necromunda people very happy.
Yes.
Because they wanted that terrain, but they didn't want to do the Ash Waste part of it. They weren't intrigued by the two armies, and they weren't intrigued by the setting change. So they just want the stuff.
Yeah.
And, luckily they were on the ball enough to figure that one out and get those kits out quick. And of course, like Josh said, when we get the news at 11, we will let you know what the news at 11 is. So we will move on from New Dawn into Creation. And I have, I'm sure, a lot less than you. So working on Nick Fury and his Shield guys for the League. I built up some more Sylvaneth, and I clipped a hell of a lot more Dryads. You don't realize how many Dryads you have until you start clipping them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm kind of waiting for the Codex to see how many I need. Or, Codex. God! Battle Tome.
Cotome?
Yes, the Cotome.
Or the Battle Decks.
Yeah. And then I have to, and for my purposes, I need to smash out some more terrain. I've got 2 tubs full of AOS and 2 tubs full of 40K terrain, and I'm just not happy. I want to make more. I finally picked up that the Nachmund box, and I really loved that terrain.
Oh, yeah.
And I really wanted to get it. So even though I have it on order, the store manager just said, here, sign this, take this box so you at least have part of your order. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. I grabbed that. But I'm really kind of sad because I want my Nighthaunt models from Arena of Shades.
Oh, yeah.
But more on that later. So quite literally, that was all I had, was just a little bit here and there and stuff that I could do while I was at work. So
yeah, myself, haven't been as prolific perhaps as I have been in the past episodes.
Slacker.
I did get the Abominant and the 2 War Dogs from one of my Chaos Knight boxes that has come in. Well, it didn't come in. I bought it at the store.
I was going to say it was store stock.
The store stock. My other one has not come in. But I built the Abominant and then 1 Brigand and 1 Carnivore. More on the games I played with them later. Got this zany idea as I, have that. God, how did Biddle put it? I've got that hobby ADHD. Where I just need like a palate cleanser thing because I'd been working on like so many nights and stuff. And I really, really want to play Necromunda, and I really don't have the Ash Waste box. So I was thinking, what can I do here? And I have the Book of the Outcast, which I think is like such an amazing book.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's so fun. It's truly like the sandbox of Necromunda in that you get to just customize everything, play characters that you want to play as your gang leaders and bring other stuff in. I was like, well, what can I do that's just different?
Yeah.
Because I had like the orcs as the Goliaths, and I was like, I kind of want to keep that trend. So what I decided to do was come up with a narrative so that way I can how do I have Skaven in Necromunda?
How do you have Skaven in Necromunda?
Well, that's a great question, Bill. I have developed a story as to how that happened. So
All right.
roughly what I equated to, and this is still up for change as I'm trying to hash out some of the details, but there was, who I'm saying is probably a former Dalak, who had worked with some of the Escher in terms of the genetic manipulation and stuff that they were known for, which is how we have Goliath, right?
Heresy.
Fell subject to some of her own experiments, and it turned her into a rat person, right? So more of a mutant in Necromunda terms, right? But she looks like a rat. And what she started to do is it drove her crazy. Like the process that goes through to turn people into the rat folk makes them all but insane.
Kind of nutty.
Yeah. So she started taking all of her helpers and stuff and turning them into rats. And it sort of progressed. And at one point there was a gang war that was occurring, near her secret laboratory. And there was a reactor there. She caused a meltdown that killed a fair amount of them, but those that survived she took back for genetic manipulation. And so that's a long way for me to get to the point where I say I have actually taken models from a bunch of different gangs and given them rat attributes.
Yeah.
So I took the 4 little outcast box and put rat heads or rat tails on them with human faces. I took some extra plague monks I had, turned them into what would just be the standard gangers, but I was gluing on AdMech bits.
Sure.
So they have the rifles that could be a las rifle, and then taser goads and just little stuff like that. Then I got 2 of the police, one with the shield and the grenade launcher, and then one with his pistol and his bolt gun. Put storm vermin heads on them.
There you go.
2 Goliath I turned into, put storm vermin heads on them. And then I took Lilith Hesperex.
Oh, well, what?
Yeah. And kit bashed her so that way she has a rat head with her hair, by the way. And I think I put pictures up. She's got a rat tail, and she calls herself Princess. And she is, again, driven mad. Half her face has been irradiated off. So it's just it's just bone. So I also made the Oracle, who is the leader of the group, which I took the tech priest Dominus from AdMech and put the rat attributes on there, which included putting a plague monk head where the normal AdMech head is supposed to be. I equipped it so it would have been plasma pistol, plasma gun on the arms. And then, instead of having the Omniscient axe, I cut that off and I took one of the claws that's holding a piece of warp stone from the plague monk kick and put that on top of it. And then I just got the Deloc Elite upgrades, not upgrades, but the Elite ones, you know, where you have I can't remember what they're called, like the Noctghouls are in there and things like that, and just put rad heads on those. Jeez. So it's been a lot of kit bashing, a lot of fun, and in the spirit of that, you know, because Necromunda folks are hungry for terrain, I finally broke down and bought Red Harvest yesterday.
Okay, cool.
Because those Veronite mines can now be Warpstone mines.
You betcha.
For my storyline.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun with that. I'm trying to think if I did anything else. I painted up the Lilith Hesperex model. I actually painted that up, not just primed it and built it. I started painting the Oracle last night.
Cool. I don't know why that just hurts me to the soul to hear Lilith Hesperex cut up into something else.
I have a normal Lilith model that I built up.
Of course.
Even though I painted her blonde with like pink and blue, like bright pink and blue armor and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's
the Care Bear Lilith?
Yeah. I think she looks awesome. She's my California girl. Sort of in the spirit of how I painted my Daughters of Cain.
Sure.
Since they're, you know, distant cousins, so to speak.
Yeah. Offshoots.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think I've just been almost kind of just holding out for Heresy. I think I'm pretty set on Alpha Legion right now.
Nice.
At least, you know, for one of them. And I was talking with a guy yesterday at the store, Dave, who plays the orcs.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, if I do Alpha Legion, and so one of the things that I would always want to do with Alpha Legion is make them look like normal Marines.
Yeah.
I don't want them having all the chaos crap and stuff on them because it doesn't feel Alpha Legion-y to me.
Not really, yeah.
I was talking to my buddy. He was like, you know what I could do for Chaos Cultists? Cadians.
Yeah.
You know, so when I actually get the CSM book and I, you know, have the Horus Heresy models, you know, I'm painting as Alpha Legion, then people can be like, oh, you can't mix Chaos Space Marines and Cadians. And they're like, no, that's not what it is. They're cultists.
They're traitor. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Shh.
It's okay. Calm down.
They have not been affected by chaos. Okay? So that's everything I did. I'll probably work on the terrain tonight. That's about it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do is maybe we got to finish up our Arkham Horror game tonight, but I'm hoping to get some time to build that Nachman terrain. It looks so cool. Oh,
right?
God. And, I was out there and I was watching Ash Barker do his quickie painting on him, and his came out looking pretty good. So I'm like, he just literally did it with spray cans and, a little touch of flair here and there, but, terrain shouldn't steal the show. It should sort of meld into the board and just be part of the game.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's the goal there. So, moving on to battle, and I had a really funny game of Warcry where, so I had brought my Splintered Fang again, because kind of doing a campaign. So we started the campaign 2 games into the campaign because we just sort of thought back to what we had done and caught up paperwork-wise. Mm-hmm. And he goes to break out his stuff and realizes that he left 2 of his iron golems back at home. Oops.
Oof.
Yeah, and it was like way too far to go get them and bring them back.
Yep.
So we run down to the hotel restaurant and we're like, we ordered room service. We didn't get salt. Can we take a salt and pepper shaker? Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. Just, bring them back. Okay. There were other 2 iron golems, salt and pepper shaker. And I don't know why so as this game started out, I was rolling like a freaking Mack truck. So at one point we were just like, all right, we're swapping dice. I took his, he took mine. He continued to roll average. I continued to roll like a Mack truck. I mean, I was critting. I could almost count on, I hated it, but I got to that point of I was actually sort of figuring my baseline damage based on having 1 or 2 crits every time. And it was just brutal. It was just brutal. I took out the salt shaker first. The pepper guy, he lasted until quite near the end. But yeah, it was just another one of those where, oh my God, dice just, I don't know why Warcry is, for some games, it's like that. For me anyway. So, but that was fun. We had a lot of, actually got to use some of those falling rules and what have you, because we had some really crazy terrain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm just really realizing how much fun Warcry really is and how quickly it plays.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's literally knocking out a full game, 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that included getting in the elevator, going down to the cafe, grabbing some models, and, going back up. So, yeah, it's a great game for like when you're traveling. The whole warband fits into a tiny little case. And what do you need? A ruler and some dice, and you're done. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Kill Team's so good, too.
yeah, again, that's something I want to get into, and the wife wants to get into. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish Kim would get into it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I got her to paint one MCP model.
Well, that's, that's what do you got for battle?
So I took part in the 40K. It was like a 3-week, just a little quick league
Yeah.
to get, new folks in to play 9th Ed, to get folks who just got new armies, which was me because I was using Chaos Knights. I mean, it's not new in a sense, but the revamped Chaos Knights.
Well, it's pretty darn new.
Pretty
with a
darn new.
book. Yeah.
Play games there. I talked about the first one already. That was the one where I fought the Harlequin guy, and it was over before it was even began.
Yep.
Then I played mostly Chaos versus Chaos. It was kind of crazy. I played this Emperor's Children guy 3 times in a row, and I ended up giving him the last game, so to speak. It was like the first game was at 500 points.
Yeah.
All of them were at 500 points. I was like, cool, I'm just going to try out the Night Abominate because I just built it and primed it. Let's see how it works.
Yeah. Not much. You don't have a lot of wiggle room at 500 points.
You don't. And I put all like the durability buffs and stuff on him that, have been rolling around on the internet. The thing that was kind of crazy was that I didn't get the opening turn, so I didn't get the ward save. And so he just unleashed everything. Like burned all of his command points, just trying to max damage and get through. Like, so the opening salvo from all 500 points, I had 5 wounds left.
Jesus.
I was like, cool, now it's my turn. Heal D3 wounds, get the 5-up ward save. He turned the Volkite Destroyer, the gun he has, on the obliterators that were there.
See.
And I rolled 2 6s to wound.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, you have 2 saves.
Oh, wow.
No, 3 saves. He had 3 saves, and he failed one of the saves, so just
eliminated.
good night. It was a beautiful thing. And then so he got another turn. He charged his hero into the Abominate, failed to wound it.
Oh my God.
And then I squished him.
Yeah. As you sometimes do.
Yeah, that's what knights do usually. Charged to his unit of Noise Marines and then just finished him off in one go with the whippy arm, whatever it's called. It was pretty brutal. Then the second game we played, I did it with the War Dogs, right?
Oh,
so I had
nice,
one Brigand, one Executioner, and one Carnivore, right? And it's similar situation. He played the same list, so he had the same firepower. He just had to differentiate his shots, right? And so he heavily wounded the Brigand and the Executioner, but didn't even touch the Carnivore in the opening salvo. So I positioned so I was on objectives, so I can keep objectives. Then it comes to be my turn. The Carnivore moves 14 inches, if you didn't know. 14 inches
Jesus
up the board,
Christ.
charges into the Noise Marines, and just slices them up.
Good God.
So yeah, he charges in, he kills 7 up front, and then he used the new Terror Shades, command ability, or stratagem, and the rest of them run. He runs his Chaos Lord up to the Executioner, who was my Warlord, to kill him, and does it.
Wow. Okay.
He had 2 wounds left, and he squeaked through a Power Fist.
Damn.
Dang, man, I almost had you on that one. I killed one of the Obliterators with my shooting, so there was only one Obliterator left. He happened to get through the wounds he needed to destroy the Brigand.
Damn.
So it was the Chaos Lord versus the
oh boy,
Chaos Lord and 1 Obliterator, and he had no command points. Versus my my Carnivore, which had no damage on it.
Yeah.
So again, moves 14 inches. I had capped his back objective, taking it from him, so he didn't get any points. I run the Carnivore up, charge into his Lord, and I use the Claw, right? And so even with his invulnerable saves, he's like, to get through, how much damage is that? 2d3 plus 6. All right.
Jesus.
Pulls him off the board, and he's like, I can't do anything now. Like, the Obliterator's not going to be able to kill that thing before this goes over and kills it. And I was like, that's true. That is true. And I'm up on points significantly. The third game with that guy, So it's where I gave it to him. The mission was assassinate, which is you just have to kill the warlord.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, well, he has enough damage to kill the warlord if he focuses everything into it.
Yep.
Right. So I was like, all right, bud, here's, I'll put him here, but I'm not going to make it easy. I'm going to give him buffs and stuff. It was a war dog.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can't do it the abominant, but it's like I'll do the war dogs so that way you can get the win because it's who had the most amount of points going in Chaos, Imperium, or Xenos. So it was Chaos by a mile.
Yeah.
League ended yesterday.
Yeah.
And the top 4 had been decided, but it is Memorial Day weekend.
Slightly.
Yeah, just a little bit. Probably the most Memorial Day weekend of the year. I would wager to say.
Yeah.
And no one showed up, so I became the de facto winner of that league, which is,
Sometimes showing up is all it takes.
right? A win's a win.
There you go.
I won cases by just looking at the judge and saying, "Yes, Your Honor." That's how
I'm
it
here.
works. So those are my battles. Hopefully have some more Necromunda ones coming up soon, but
Nice.
that's it for now.
Cool. Very nice. All right, we're going to take a quick break to eat some breakfast, and then hopefully we'll hear the news at 11, and then we'll jump into the lore.
Sounds good to me.
Make sure you join us tonight for the news at 11.
I was there. I was there the day Horus Lupercal killed the Emperor. It's here, folks. As the lady said, the news at 11.
Horus Heresy is finally launching in plastic. The Age of Darkness descends. Sunday preview, folks. They are giving us everything.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so it's the enormity of this is enormous.
Yeah.
Because today is the day of stupid replication and redundancy. So you're going to get, first off, the Warhammer Horus, the Horus Heresy, Age of Darkness box set, which is glorious. It's just more models than you can shake a stick at. Tanks, Contemptor Dreads, dice, decals, whippy sticks, templates, people. I'm going to get all my old templates out.
Yeah.
All my cool, custom-made, logoed templates for whatever company I was dealing with at the time. I'm going to get all those dinner plates out.
Is that what those green ones are back there?
The green ones are, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it's awesome. It's 54 miniatures, folks. It's 2 Legion Praetors, 10 Cataphractii Terminators, 40 TAC Space Marines in Mark 6, 1 Contemptor Dread, 1 Spartan Assault Tank. We've seen it all over the internet. 4 months now. We saw beautifully painted a Warhammer world by all those fantastic artists. And it's finally here. It does come with the book. It comes with all the things you need to start.
Whippy sticks.
And if you order the set directly from the Games Workshop web store, you'll bag yourself an exclusive reaction token and card set while stocks last. That means 8 metal tokens and a deck of 8 cards to keep track of the game's 6 reactions and 2 advanced reactions detailed in the main rulebook. So big incentive to order online.
Yep.
You also have your Liber Astartes and the Liber Hereticus. You know which side I'm going on that. You're going to have the special weapon and heavy weapon upgrade kits coming out as well. I mean, this is ridiculous.
And the Kratos Heavy Assault Tank. And the Demos Pattern Rhino.
And the tax squads by themselves.
Mark
Mark
3s,
3.
Mark 4s.
Mark 4. Ozek Araman.
Oh, screw Araman. He can just go bite a...
Carta Galactica.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Legion transfer sheets.
Oh,
And then Legion dice.
got those.
And there's some in-store swag as well. Dear God. 26-sided dice in each set and the colors corresponding. It's 1 for each Legion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a set of dice for each Legion, yeah.
No, not a set of dice for each Legion, I don't think. One of the 18 sets of themed dice. You get 26-sided dice in the colors of the corresponding. Oh,
yeah,
you do?
that's the ones they did
One
before.
which is a scatter dice.
Yeah, those are old repacks.
Oh, my God. Look at that Alpha Legion, though.
Mm-hmm.
Your salamanders look pretty.
I have the Salamanders dice. I have the Raven Guard. I think I have Word Bearers and Blood Angels. Yeah.
Pop down to your local Warhammer store from next Saturday, and you'll be able to snaffle themed loot, including Lodge coins, key rings, pin badges, and vehicle damage counters while supplies last.
Yeah.
The Lodge coin will be available from selected independent stockists as well. Oh, because it's first Saturday of the month means it's coin.
Yep.
And then they're going to repack all of the Primarchs, and they're not just going to be available on Forge World. You can pre-order them from the Games Workshop web store. You get to get a little access to that. I'm hoping that obviates some of the shipping costs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Which would be absolutely fantastic. They're going to have the Sons of Horus Imperial Fist heads and shoulder pads available.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. The custom made, although depending on what the price is, other suppliers are available.
Yeah.
And probably at significantly reduced prices, but
I just want to call it out on the special weapon upgrade kit and the heavy weapon upgrade kit. Take a look at the box itself. 60 weapons in the special weapon upgrade kit. You get 10 of each. So be able to kit the entire squads appropriately.
Yeah.
And then for the heavy weapons, you get, again, 10 of each. You get the rocket launcher and the heavy bolters.
Yep.
Right? Holy crap. Even if you're like, you know what? I don't want to get the starter box. I'd rather just get the Marines and the weapon upgrades.
And if you already have a sizable, you're not going to want all that.
No,
So
no.
that's just great. Don't forget the Horus Heresy bookmark is there. And look, they used my quote. I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. Oh my gosh.
I can already hear my wife yelling at me.
Yeah. Oh no, I am in complete agreement because this is going to be an expensive Saturday. So wow. And that is a 2-week pre-order. So everything you order won't be around until mid-June. Or
Is it
if
a
you're
2 week?
us, yeah, it says it'll be available on the 18th.
3 short weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
3-week pre-order period. Thank God.
Yes.
So I'll probably splurge for the big box first.
Yep.
And then, pick up the little things as the weeks go on.
Yeah.
My body is ready, Bill.
Yes, I am ready for this. I am ready for this. This is going to be mooey cray cray. So
I wanted this for so long. But if you don't like horrible games like Horus Heresy, don't forget, you Middle-earth strategy battle game players, Grimbjorn and the Bjornings are
gonna
coming
be
out as
available,
well.
which is a very, very nice. I'm just kind of jazzed that they're going to do the Primarchs again because there's a couple I did not get. And very interesting.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
1st of June, we actually get the hammer of the Hammer and Bolter. Double or nothing. Look at that. Almost as exciting as Horus Heresy, we get a cartoon about Stormcast.
I'm going to try to gather my thoughts here before I make a fool out. Okay, anyway. Yay. No, that sounds really good. Animated Stormcast.
3 weeks, man. That's probably going to be enough time for me to get all the money I need for all those things.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
But then you're going to need even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you heard this, there's probably already been a poll or something that Bill and I put up as to what Legion you think either of us should paint.
Yep.
Disclaimer,
and just so you know,
we won't necessarily paint that Legion. This is just for fun purposes. I'm kidding.
oh my God, it's going to be glorious. Really, really glorious. This is so, well, it's here, folks.
Yeah.
Horus Heresy is here. I know it's not AOS and we're AOS themed, but this is big. This is important. And this is a lot of fun. So seriously looking forward to it. The embargo is kind of lifting on some of those people that went for the Horus Heresy reveal. And they're talking a little bit about gameplay now. And it seems a lot more interactive. I'm kind of wondering if they're doing a I go, you go kind of thing or a we go. So interesting. I hope it's alternating activations. I really do, because that would make the game a lot more fun. One of the problems with the old Epic and all that stuff was Alpha Strike wasn't just a thing. It was how that game was played. So,
Right.
And this, I think, with the
Roll to
amount
see
of
who wins.
firepower and the way Marines die in this game, I hope to heck they're not. I trust them. They're going to do the right thing.
I'm excited. I would even appreciate if it was more like an apocalypse style thing.
Yeah.
Where like you assign everything that happens and then it's all resolved at once.
Right.
Because I thought that made Apocalypse so fun.
So much better than the old. You got to play with all your toys. So,
Oh, yeah.
That was just the do-all, end-all there. All right, shall we move to the lore now that we've had our moment, our heresy moment?
Maybe I'll geek out more in After Dark.
Yeah.
I'm
geeked.
titillated.
Yes.
But yeah, let's talk about what the show's actually about.
Okay, so we're going to go over the Nighthaunt, Path to Glory. Now, here's the deal. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go over just the Nighthaunt Path to Glory without talking a little bit about the Nighthaunt themselves. Now, we're not going to do that exhaustive coverage of the Nighthaunt Battletome because it's been done. All the information is out there. This is a really good battle tome for Nighthaunt. I think Nighthaunt players are going to find so much flexibility inside this book that you can now play the army that you want to play. You want to go all Cav, you're going to have a blast. You want to go all Mooks, you're going to have a blast. You want to have that elite, crazy army, you're going to have a blast.
Really, I think Nighthaunt are lame.
That's it. We're done.
Sorry, guys. Podcast end, episode 129.
It just ended so abruptly. The overall battle traits for the Nighthaunt are, of course, you have the 4 processions, which are now in line with every other book. They give a little bit of a buff, but they are by no means the do-all, end-all of your armies. You have the army-wide special rules. You have Aura of Dread, which gives enemy units the terrified condition if they're within 3 inches of a Nighthaunt unit. So if you're within 3 inches of a Nighthaunt unit, you're terrified. And underneath that rule, there is absolutely no effect. However, all of the other rules play off whether or not you're terrified. And being terrified is bad. Don't be afraid, people. Well, you're going to have to be. So.
Yeah. Don't fear the Reaper.
No, fear it. Next up is Ethereal. Friendly Nighthaunt units have a ward of 6, period. End of story. Mm-hmm. That's it. None of this, you have to be within a bubble of a hero, blah, 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 blah. Nope. Yeah, you get it. Furthermore, friendly Nighthaunt units can retreat and still charge in the same turn. That's blanket. That's everybody. That's, wow. Okay. Ignore modifiers, positive and negative, to save rolls for attacks that target friendly Nighthaunt units. Okay, so they play the same game as everyone else now.
I mean, they played that same game before, right?
Yeah.
And I think that with these additions to the retreating and charging and the 6-up ward, which can become a 5-up ward, which you're about to read here in a minute, it's so much better. It's like, there's a certain mental load that comes in with, when am I going to use my all-out defense versus my all-out offense, right? All-out attack.
Exactly.
You don't have that here.
No.
You don't. I think the dispersion rule is the one thing that maybe equates to the same mental load, but
sure,
an entire army where you don't need to worry about Mystic Shield,
right?
Entire army where you don't need to worry about all-out defense.
Yeah, it's
entire army where you don't care about rend.
Yeah,
right. When someone's like,
pointless.
"Oh, those beasts of chaos," you're like, "Actually, no, bring them."
Actually, no. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. Plus, but I bother them. In fact, I terrify them.
Yeah, I get them afraid, even though they're big, ugly, horny monsters.
Whoa!
And don't read into that. Don't read into that.
Phrasing.
Phrasing.
Why didn't we abandon phrasing? Anyway,
just real recently.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. That was our digression.
So yeah, it's a phenomenal army-wide special rule, and it goes to speak to why some of the points costs of these different units is so high. It's because they basically have protection from most things on the battlefield, as well as not having to spend command points on things that everybody else has to. So next up, you have Discorporate. You can use this command ability when a friendly Nighthaunt unit is picked as the target of an attack in the shooting or combat phase.
Yep.
That unit must receive this command. The unit has a ward of 5-up until the end of the phase. So the 6-up ward becomes a 5-up ward, and yay. So,
right, for one command point, you make that one rule twice as effective.
Because of the way a couple of the units in this army work, that ability might actually cascade through your army in different ways. Because
Dreadblade Harrow, right? Dreadblade Harrow, the teleporty one?
Yeah, the Dreadblade Harrow can actually, if he receives a command, he can spread it out. So, not lots of neat ways to get your army onto a 5-up save. 5-up ward save.
Pretty sure we're going to see at least one Dreadblade Harrow in every list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yupper. And then the Relentless Charge rule gave way to the Wave of Terror rule, which is now, it's not just, hey, on a 10-up, you fight twice. Now it's you make a charge roll for the unit and don't pick it up immediately, because after you're engaged with the bad guys, you look at your roll, and on a 4 to 7, you have Shriek, which is subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit in the following combat phase. You have 8 to 9 on your charge roll. Gives the enemy stun, subtract 1 from save rolls for attacks that target that unit. And on a 10-up, you get Petrify. The Strike Last effect applies to that unit in the following combat phase. And then there's a very specific designer's note at the end of this that they can be affected multiple times by Wave of Terror effects as long as each effect is applied by an unmodified charge roll from a different Nighthaunt unit. So if you're ganging up on that giant or you're ganging up on that unit of sentinels, charge them with more than one thing and have more than one of these things apply.
And so the rule, does it read that like if you roll like a 10, right? Because it's 10 plus for the top one, that you can pick one of the lower ones?
Yes, you can. It's in there that you can pick. If you roll a 10 up, you can pick one of those to apply.
Because if you have one of those "what was me" moments where you roll boxcars 3 times in a row and you're like,
oh, geez.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
No, you can pick anyone.
Yeah, I know.
Which is really, that's super flexible and nice of them to put in there.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, the Army-wide special rule, Frightful Touch. Unmodified hit rolls of a 6. Wounds the target automatically, do not make a wound roll. This is huge for Nighthaunt that usually has a somewhat easier time hitting things, but a harder time wounding them.
Mm-hmm.
So, boom, 6's wound.
Well, I think to the black coach on this one for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, with some upwards of 20 attacks. Yeah.
So many attacks.
Yeah, you're going to roll a 6 or 2.
Yeah.
And then Vanishing Phantasms, another Army-wide special rule. At the end of deployment, before determining control of objectives, you can remove up to 3 friendly Nighthaunt units from the battlefield, place them to one side, and set them up in ambush reserve. At the end of your movement phase, set up 1 or more reserve units in ambush on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy units. Replaces all those gravestones that we used to be tied to. Very nice, very handy, way more flexible than you used to be.
Yeah.
And that just gives you kind of an idea of how the Nighthaunt work.
It's 3 units, right?
Huh?
Just flat 3 units?
Up to 3 friendly.
That's just so powerful.
Yeah, no D3, just up to 3.
Hey, just for playing Nighthaunt, you get to redeploy 3 units. What is that? It's so good.
It is. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's nice. You can, there's shenanigans to be had.
Oh, no. It's because the thing is, when you're setting up against Nighthaunt, you have to assume that however you set up, they're going to be able to respond in kind. And so you're going to have to, like, in a way, strangely set up to stop them from doing what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Or what they want to do. It's weird. It's got a lot of mind games.
Yeah.
A lot of mind games. It's sort of like when you play the null deploy, I almost said Death Guard list, Magakin list.
Yeah.
You know, when you're just like, cool, I'm not going to put anything on the board. You're just, what? Yeah, there's nothing on the board.
Yeah, no, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
And yes, there is a specific rule that says you don't win on turn 1.
Yeah.
I'm not tabled.
Yeah.
I remember when that first came out. It's like, oh, great, I get to be tabled on turn 1. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
So,
oh, it's so good. They have a really, I have to agree with, like Russ and Byron when they were talking about this book. It's like, it's probably like the best written Age of Sigmar battle tome they've sent out in a while. Everything is like, it's not insanely overpowered. It's very strong, but it's balanced throughout. You have so much that you can do in so many different areas, and a good general is going to be able to leverage all of it.
yeah, I think that's the difference here between some of the books that we've seen lately is they've gone for more of the, let's give you all the tools you could possibly want, and then you figure out how to put them together. Whereas in books before, it almost seemed like they had some pet units they wanted to get off the shelves, and so they were very, very good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that was the case, but sometimes marketing does get involved. I'm just saying. So this book, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, the one thing I feel like is that they have very few hammers, if we can call them that. And their hammers, they're decent, you know, but it's not like, you don't look at them and immediately think like, oh yeah, that's just going to go handle someone, you know? Like, Reikenor is pretty dumb. Like, if you're playing Nighthaunt and you don't have Reikenor on the field, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, there's something to be said for he's an auto take, but there's also a lot to be said for you don't need him.
There's some builds where you don't.
Because his functions can be taken over by other pieces.
I'm just saying he himself is a major hammer.
Yeah, he is. He's your bloody axe.
Kurdos is literally your hammer, having like Rend 3 damage,
which you could make into Rend 4 really easy.
It's just lovely. I love it.
And Olinder has, Reikenor is that truly all-comers kind of list. Most of the other heroes, you will see that they have a very specific applicability.
Mm-hmm.
And Olinder is one of those that, on her own, just reading her war scroll, she's not that good.
No, she's
not
trash.
really. When you put the supporting pieces around her and you give her what she needs to make things work, she's going to win. She's really good.
I mean, she has the 4-up ward.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a funny wombo combo, Nagash can make that a 3-up ward.
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting. Nagash is Death Incarnate, I think it was probably one of the more interesting things to me. Because it's normal Nagash plus, oh, by the way, +1 save or +1 ward save to that unit.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, like, ooh, boy. I feel like Olinder's got a good place. I feel like, let me say it this way. The heroes are good.
Yeah.
They're not all, like, there's not a standout where you're like, that's aside from
auto
Reikenor.
take.
Like,
Yeah.
Reikenor is almost an auto take.
Well, the best
But he's
part
not.
about Reikenor is, he is kind of an auto take, but he probably won't be your general. You'll probably use Knight of Shrouds. Knight of Shrouds.
He's not
on
a War
Steed.
Master, is he?
I don't think so.
I know Nagash and Olinder are War Masters.
Yeah.
Kurdos is not a War Master.
No, even though he really, really, really wants to be. It's kind of written in his lore that he wants.
He's a wizard piece, which is fantastic. His spell's pretty potent.
Yes.
He can snuff the candle to mortally wound enemy units and get +1 to cast. If he does it to himself, he gets +3 to cast. But
And he's only 7 wounds,
Yeah.
so he is protectable.
yeah.
Whereas you go back to some others and not so much.
Who's not?
I thought, didn't Olinder have just 10? No, she has 7. Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. We were talking about Sylvanet. Lady of Vines has 10.
Yeah. Lady of Vine's got screwed.
Yeah, just a little, but we'll see.
I said that because she's wood. Screw winning.
I get it now. I get it. Oh, boy.
We're having too much pun on this show.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so command traits for Nighthaunt are pretty good across the board. Again, you're going to pick a theme, and you're going to follow it when you pick artifact, command traits, and everything else. If you start going willy-nilly mishmash, you're probably not going to get the results you think you're going to get.
Yeah.
But once you decide on what you're going to do, oh boy. So, of course, they have the Ruler of the Spectral Hosts in there, which is basically after a Nighthaunt unit is destroyed, once per game,
On a 4-up?
put it back at half strength. So,
That's a fun one.
and as well as we still have the summonable keywords, and a lot of these heroes do that. Bring back one model or bring back X amount of points of summonable models. But again, you're not tied to graveyards. You're not tied to anything weird. No more bubble management, really, for Nighthaunt. A lot of the army-wide special rules are across the board. And then, the leader and the bubble auras, well, everybody plays with those. So
Yeah.
we're not special anymore. Under the Artifacts of Power, you have some really, really nice ones. Not going to go into them all, but under the Wizards, you do have the Midnight Tome. So once per battle, if the bearer attempts to cast a spell that would summon an endless spell, its spell is automatically cast with a casting roll of 12 that cannot be modified, and it cannot be unbound. So if you bring an endless spell, you will get it off. So kind of nice.
I mean, that's one of the ones where you might take that literally just to get your portal on the board.
Right. If
Right.
it's key to your strategy, then yeah, you'll take that.
I mean, because you could have the dinky little guy with the spectral lantern, the spectral lure spell. What's his name?
Guardian of Souls.
Guardian of Souls.
Sorry.
So you might throw that on Guardian of Souls. You have like Nagash standing next to him, and you're like, oh, by the way, here's my Umbral spell portal. You can't unbind it. It's automatically cast on a 12. And Nagash is like, oh, cool. I'm just going to throw
mind if
every
I
spell.
use that?
Yeah. I don't mind if I do. There's combo potential
Sure.
out the wazoo in this book.
Yeah.
I think it's a strategist's, I'm not going to say dream, but it's going to get you a little giddy.
Yeah, there's just so many. I personally just like it from the idea that I can run my all cavalry list if I want to. I can run my all chain rasp list if I want. You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
And not get penalized for it. Pretty much up till now, it was Drog the Mercenary Giant and whatever you wanted to bring.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really like about it is spirit hosts are toned down quite a bit, so they're not so much of a crutch unit anymore. You don't really need crutches anymore. So the weapon artifacts of power, I'm not going to read them all off, but each one of them is flipping good. Yeah. One of them just turns your Ren to -3. -4 if the enemy's terrified. If you're in combat with them, they're terrified. It's Ren 4. So,
yeah, you're almost like, why did you
have to put that? Plus, they have Slitter, which is that, it's the old one of 1 inch, roll a die. If the roll is greater than the model's wounds characteristic, it's slain. Mm-hmm. So, piddling heroes as well as annoying 3 wound, you have a pretty much 50-50 or a little bit better chance to just slay it. Let me see. The Infernal Treasures for Nighthaunts are really, really good. You're going to play with these. You're going to read through these, and they're going to be reasonably obvious what house they go to, what build they belong to. Spell lore is about the same as it was before with some really effective 3.0 wording. Mm-hmm. So not much of a change there. The processions, the 4 different houses. You have the Grieving Legion, which is your mob mentality. Legion enemy units cannot retreat while they are within 3 inches of any friendly Grieving Legion units with 10 or more models. So as you bring those units of 20 chain wraths, you'll be locking down giants. You'll be locking down Sylvaneth, who can just bip all around the board without thinking about it. That's your style.
You hold them in place.
Yep. Scarlet Doom is, if you like your Blade Geist Revenants, that's the one you go with. Anytime a Blade Geist Revenant unit makes a charge, you can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of that unit. If you do so, roll a number of dice equal to the number of models from the charging unit. So at full strength, 5. For each 5 up, it suffers a mortal wound. So if you're crashing into mobs, that's what you're going to want to use. The Quicksilver Dead is your Dreadscythe Harridans. Ward rolls cannot be made for wounds caused by attacks made with melee weapons by friendly Dreadscythe Harridans.
It's real powerful.
No ward rolls. That
real
takes
powerful.
many, many heroes and makes them, oh, you're just a dude now. Or doodad.
Well, the Harridans have that rule where they get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Yeah. If they're attacking a terrified unit that they charge or something like that,
which they're gonna be terrified.
Yeah. So if you're doing your Olinder Banshee Harridan build, like they're just it's so good. It's so good. And then you missed Emerald Host.
I didn't. I saved it.
Okay.
Yeah. Emerald Host, I think, is the go-to.
Yeah.
For any generic, if you're not playing one of those themes, the mobs, the Harridans, or the Revenants, you're going to pick Emerald Host after armies have been set up. But before the battle round begins, you can pick D3 +1 enemy units on the battlefield. This is stupid. At the end of each battle round, roll a die for each unit you picked that is on the battlefield. On a 2 up, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If it's a monster, it suffers D3 +1 instead of D3. So you're literally just going to wear a unit of 10 down, or a hero. You're just going to wear it down over the game.
Yeah, if you're not sure what to pick, you pick that.
Yeah, that is so strong and so generically good. You're going to get D3 +1 units. It's awesome. So now that you have a brief overview, and again, we're not going to go into each unit, because that would be counterproductive and make the show go way long.
Yep.
Just know that every unit a lot of units have had stuff taken away, but it's replaced by the fact that the Army-wide special rule just made that specific rule better for them.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was at the store and I was really bemoaning how they ruined the Black Coach. And I was just reading the War Scroll. I hadn't read the Army-wide special rules basically make it a lot better than it was before.
Yeah.
So,
and I like that. I think it's something that it's the more elegant design that they were going for in third.
Yeah.
Where they wanted to make it so that it's not War Scroll heavy. They all have their special things they do. There are some heavy War Scrolls. A Linder is a full page.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about that. But it certainly makes it so it's not so targeting specific units. Like other units, they may not even look good when you're just looking at them. Like the Spirit Hosts, like you look at me like these are trash compared to
from what they used to be. They're just junk. Well, no, think about it. All the rules that they used to have on their War Scroll are now Army-wide rules.
Oh, did I satisfy my battle line with 3 units of 3 Spirit Hosts?
Yeah. coming in with multiple. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's good stuff.
So, overall, very, very good book. Super jazzed, super excited for it. Really looking forward to getting back to playing these and the Sylvaneth. So, the path to glory for Nighthaunt, I don't want to say it's as groundbreaking as some of the others, but it's still it captures the flavor of Nighthaunt, I think, just perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So in Path to Glory, the basic rules for the good guys, the Nighthaunt, you automatically get this Haunters of the Realms rule, which is just generic, just applies in every game, and it's kind of bonkers because instead of setting up a friendly Nighthaunt unit on the battlefield, you can secretly pick one terrain feature on the battlefield to be haunted by that unit. If you do so, place the unit to one side, say that it is set up in a haunted terrain feature as a reserve unit. Record this information on a piece of paper. You're not sharing this. Do not set it up. Up to 3 terrain features can be haunted. The same terrain feature cannot be haunted by more than one friendly Nighthaunt unit. So you're basically going to have 3 units on the side of the board that the enemy has no idea where they're going to pop up from.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part of it. At the end of movement phase or charge phase, you can reveal 1 or more Nighthaunt units that are set up with this ability. If you do so, set up each unit within 1 inch of the terrain feature it was haunting and more than 3 inches from all enemy units. Nighthaunt units set up in a haunted terrain feature are destroyed if that terrain feature is demolished before they are revealed. So literally, you're going to come out and pile in range. Mm-hmm. And awesome. I'm sorry. That is just so bonkers thematic, very cool. And it's going to cause your opponent to have to be looking over their shoulder all the time. They don't know what you wrote down.
Yep.
So that's just so much fun.
Right. Remember, this is Path to Glory, folks, not match play.
This isn't match.
Yeah. Don't get super hyped thinking you're about to walk into the local tourney.
And just crush.
Yeah.
So
that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. In
Holy
addition
crap.
to the fact that you can set up off board. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then redeploy. Yeah. So the territory rule for Nighthaunt in Path to Glory is, of course, on a 61 to 66 for your exploration roll. You can pick a Nighthaunt territory from the table, and it's already considered to be terrified, or no, they call it, it's terrified territories. I'm sorry. So it basically replaces the rules for generic terrain from the 61 to 66 table with the terrified versions of them. The big thing is you do not spend glory points to control them. You do so automatically. However, you also cannot be upgraded, but there's no upgrade path for them. And they are quite literally the typical 61 to 66 territories. There's the harassed outpost, which is increase your hero's limit by 2. There is the Shaishan Realm Gate, which is increase your allies' limit by 2. And in addition, on a roll of 6 up, you can reduce the casualty score of one allied unit from your order of battle to 0. So you might have a unit with 4 or 5 casualty points. Boom, it's at 0. You can get a Tormented Barracks, which is increase your reinforced units limit by 2. In addition, you can reinforce one Nighthaunt summonable unit without any glory points being spent. So they're literally doing a lot of stuff without spending any glory.
So how do ghosts get casualty points?
Same way as everybody else. They have units that die. You're gonna get casualty points like anybody else.
No, I mean just.
Oh, okay.
Philosophically.
What's the mechanic? Okay, I'm sorry. Wow, I was being way too didactic. Holy.
Because I can conceive of that for all the other death factions that have like physical corporeal bodies, right?
Good point.
But somehow you can have spirits that die.
Well, maybe he's in the resummoning pool, and they just haven't gotten to him yet.
Yeah. Y'all remember at the end of Hercules when he goes down to save Meg? Disney's Hercules, by the way.
Yeah, Disney's Hercules.
And it's all the souls swirling in there.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's
just
not like
like
a true casualty.
No.
It's just that there's ghost soup.
They're just waiting to pop out of the, the cadaver balls. Whatever. Oh, God. Okay, moving on. The 64 is an ancient battle site. Step 3 of the aftermath sequence, roll 3 dice for each 6 up. You can either give one unit on your roster 1 renown point, or add 1 quest point to the progress section of the Hatred of the Living quest. We'll get into the quest here in a minute. That's a really good territory to have. The Cursed City of Order. You reduce the glory point cost of adding a unit that is not a hero to your order of battle by 2. So basically your mooks come in a lot cheaper.
That's a lot.
Yeah. In addition, in step 7 of the Aftermath sequence, roll a dice on a 6-up, reduce casualty score of 1 Nighthaunt unit to 0. So again, something cool gets called up. And then on the Almighty 66, you get the Soul-Infested Slums. Once in step 6 of each Aftermath sequence, you can roll 1 die for this territory. On a 6-up, you gain 1 bonus command trait that your faction has access to, and it is added to your vault. Nothing about glory points being spent, by the way.
Yeah.
Really neat host of cool territories. This does tie in directly to the quests, because one of the things you can do, in addition to discovering terrified territories as described, you can also haunt territories that you control. In order to haunt the territory, you complete the Souls for Shyish quest or the Hatred of the Living quest, which we just spoke about. In addition, if you fight a Path to Glory battle using the Phantasmal Invasion battle plan, the result may allow you to haunt an additional territory or exercise a haunted territory. This is how your opponent gets to basically take that away. So if you want to haunt a territory, at the end of step 6 of the Aftermath sequence, pick 1 territory you control, remove the territory you picked from your roster, replace it with its haunted form. So this is how you get to that table without having to roll the 61 to 66.
Yeah.
The part of that is if you play that battle plan and you lose, if you have some of those haunted territories, your opponent gets to exercise them and turn them back into their normal version. So,
That's
I mean,
fun. There's a give and take there. I really like that.
Yeah, and it has to be that way because otherwise you're just going to run away with it. So there's 4 different quests. You have the quest, which is Souls for Shyish, which is you need 3 quest points. You get 1 quest point if you win a major victory. When you complete the quest, pick 1 territory you control that can be haunted and follow the instructions for haunting it. So if you get that quest, you haunt something. Under the Hatred of the Living, basically you play that. You add 1 quest point to your quest log if you won a minor victory and 3 if you win a major victory. Once you have 3 or more quest points, you can fight Path to Glory battles using the Phantasmal Invasion or Fight or Flight battle plans, and those are the ones whose you follow the rewards from the battle plans, and that's the ones that allow you to haunt and exercise territories.
Right.
You have the quest Feed on Terror. At the end of Path to Glory battle, add 1 quest point to the progress section of your quest log for each enemy unit that was terrified during the battle. So you're going to have to keep a side track of that, obviously. Once you have gained 7 or more quest points, which you should probably do in the first game, literally.
Yeah.
When you complete the quest in the next Path to Glory battle, you fight against your opponent using a Path to Glory army. You can give each Nighthaunt summonable unit you use in that battle a veteran ability. Veteran ability can only be used by the unit in that battle. That's bonkers good, because in a minute here, Josh is going to read out the veteran abilities. I'm tired of talking. Last quest is Ethereal Rising. At the end of a Path to Glory battle, you complete this quest if you want a major victory and control 6 or more haunted territories. This one's tough to get.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be a beginning quest to get. But when you complete the quest in the next Path to Glory battle, you fight against your opponent using a Path to Glory army. You can return 1 Slade model to each friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit on the battlefield at the start of each of your hero phases.
Oh my God.
So not only your built-in Nighthaunt healing, but just in case you didn't catch everything with that, you get 1 more.
Nighthaunt veteran abilities. First one is Cunning Frighteners. The spirits have come to know the art of terrifying their foe as second nature, and have petrified countless souls over the battles they have seen. This unit can use this veteran ability once per battle at the end of the movement phase or charge phase. When it does so, enemy units are terrified while they're within 6 inches of this unit instead of 3 inches until the end of that turn. Real good. Real good. That can sway something.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Depending on the rules and everything, that'll sway something. Spectral Juggernauts. These guys possess an unhinged and reckless spirit, allowing them to charge with the force of an ethereal landslide that sweeps the feet from beneath their foe.
Yay.
This unit can use the veteran ability once per battle at the start of the charge phase. When it does so, until the end of that phase, Add 3 to the charge rolls for this unit.
3, did you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
So that 9-inch charge became a 6-inch charge?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And 3's more than 2. And it's definitely more than 1. So that ain't nothing to scoff at. Favored of Nagash. These loyal spirits have been bestowed with harnessed Shaishian energy that sees them defy the destruction of their foes' most potent strikes. This unit can use this veteran ability once per battle to start the combat phase. When it does so, until the end of that phase, this unit has a ward of 4+.
Yeah.
Woo boy.
That's only combat, not shooting, so there's a little bit of built-in balance to that.
Yeah. Because we're looking at balancing our narrative games, right?
It's important.
Champions of Elinder. Should the Mortarch of Grief seek to destroy a chosen foe, she will lean on the terrifying power of this band of spirits before all others, knowing that they will dismember any trace of her target from the mortal realms. This unit can use this veteran ability once per battle at the start of the combat phase. When it does so, until the end of that phase, if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with a melee weapon by that unit is 6, that attack inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target.
Thank
and
you.
the attack sequence ends. Do not make a wound or save roll.
Oh, gosh. I feel so penalized.
Unmodified hit roll of a 6 is D3 mortal wounds in combat.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I feel like that might be the first one.
To pick?
Yeah, for your veteran ability for whatever units.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's why I was ranting about the freaking Eshin Talkin.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Blade Geist Revenants.
Yeah.
You know, who are charging in. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, because they get 4 attacks on the charge. And didn't their Legion give them an additional attack?
Yeah, it makes them -4 rend.
Hold on. I got to look at this. My mind's kind of blown here.
It is so strong. It's ridiculous.
Oh, no, the Scarlet Doom doesn't give them that. Yeah, so man, those Revenants charging in, 4 attacks each. So unit 10 is doing 40 attacks. A third of those are doing D3 mortal wounds.
It's a Vegematic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an alpha strike. Oh boy.
Yeah, I want to delete that right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're popping up, in terrain.
Yeah.
And you're like, hi guys, I'm here. Charge. Killed whatever it was I was going for.
Yeah, you could potentially pull off several of these special rolls right in concert with each other and just deliver a death blow.
Ugh.
Isn't it awesome?
Oh, it's so good. Shrieking Reapers. Don't say these fast.
Reaping Shrieker. Shrieking Reapers.
Shriek Reapers. Shrieking After Dark comment. These spirits favor striking at the heart of those who are truly under the Nighthaunt influence. Should a foe succumb to their terror enough, they shine like a beacon for these warriors to prioritize next. This unit can use its veteran ability once per battle at the start of your charge phase. What it does is it essentially adds 1 to your Terrify effects. So it's 3 to 6, 7 to 8, 9+.
Yeah.
For the 3 tiers.
For the charging. And that's really bonkers good.
It's spicy. Yeah, there's some spice.
Yeah, keeping in mind that the army-wide special rule allows them to retreat and charge.
Ho, ho, ho. Whoa. Okay. Punishers of the Brave. Here's my pick for number 2.
Okay.
For every warrior that knows how to best banish a Nighthaunt spirit, there are countless others that will never possess the will or courage to do so. These spirits have come to know the telltale signs between the two and engage those who dare defy them with harnessed potency.
Oh, yeah.
This unit can use its veteran ability once per battle at the start of the combat phase. When it does so, until the end of that phase, this unit has a save characteristic of 3+.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it is so tasty. Those veteran rewards they're a chunk of it.
Well, I mean, it's going to be every single one. I'm like, well, I'll give you the Mortal Wounds one first.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to give you the 3+ save one.
Yeah.
Like that's the order I go in.
Mm-hmm.
Then I might try and do the +1 to the charge table thing.
Yeah, that helps.
That'd be pretty strong. I mean, that's just kind of where my mind's going with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some fun veteran rules.
They really are very nice. There's in the Path to Glory, there's only one heroic upgrade for Nighthaunt. As you might imagine, you can take a Knight of Shrouds and make him into a Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed for 15 renown, 2 glory, which it's expensive, but when you look at all the glory points you're not spending, all the renown you're not spending in the Nighthaunt Path to Glory, that becomes real doable real quick.
And don't forget, a couple episodes back when we reviewed Thondia and how you can make your custom characters.
Yes.
This is perfect for Path to Glory because the Nighthaunt don't have monsters, but you can make one.
You can make a monster.
Yeah.
In Path to Glory.
And they even have they already have like a pre-made Nighthaunt.
Yeah.
That has ethereal and it has fly, right? And so you just go in there and you're like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and throw a giant beast in there. So then it's got a 10-inch move. It flies automatically and it's got the ethereal keyword.
You can't beat it. You just cannot beat it.
No, I mean, it's real strong. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's like I said, this isn't a groundbreaking Path to Glory, but it fits the Nighthaunt to a T. It's the Malignant.
Malignant, yep.
Yeah, that's the one it costs 12 points right off the bat. But like you said, he comes with fly and ethereal right off the bat, as well as 5 wounds, a 6-inch move. Yeah, so.
And with that right there, like ethereal when they printed that, I was like, man, this is expensive. But the new ethereal, think about it. Retreat and charge, 6 up ward, unmodifiable save. And then you can change the save characteristic to a 3+ for that character.
Yeah.
That's where I think you're going to have a lot of fun with Nighthaunt is coming up with what's your big ghosty, you know?
Yeah.
What's the ghosty that you're going to be using? Is it going to be, Malignant on Ghostly Bloodthirster? Called the Ghost Thirster?
I can see just using the Mourngull model to represent and just going to town and having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of got a horse on the base. I mean, it's kind of a horse. All right, that was just wrong. Okay.
That was awesome.
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out, another overall big rule that is, I think, slightly overlooked in the Nighthaunt book is a lot of the units, except for the junk battle line, also have the elite rule. So they can give themselves orders.
Yeah.
So they really wanted to reinforce we're not going to have Nighthaunt play in these terrible bubbles anymore. Mm-hmm. So you can now actually have units out a little bit further away from the leaders than you might have thought and still be effective.
Yeah.
Now, your grunt mooks, your chain rasps and Harridans and all that, they don't have that, but a lot of units do have elite.
Yep.
So, which is very nice. It's a super. I love the book. It really is everything I could have asked for in a book without being, Zinch 2.0 or something, where it was just, it was stupid to try to play against it.
Yeah.
So puts them right back into it, and I believe the Path to Glory really captures how the army works and the idea that they do a lot of things without paying for it because they have no tie to it. They will haunt a city and a territory, and then they'll be gone 2 weeks later. They'll get everything they can from it and then just leave. They don't care. Mm-hmm. So it's very thematic. It captures the essence of the Nighthaunt. And I have to give this Path to Glory seriously B+, A- rating because it's going to let you play the way you want to play.
I like it. I mean, we can't all benefit the way Fire Slayers did. Fire Slayers has hands down
the best. And I really think it's because they need it. They need some kind of an edge because you have books like this out there that just my inherent abilities are better than yours.
Yeah.
And all of your stuff is once per game or once, maybe twice per game. Mm-hmm. So, whereas mine is every turn I do these things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I think I think one of these days we're going to have to come up with a ranking in terms of Path to Glory setups for each of the battle tomes. Certainly you and I will be scrutinizing Skaven and Sylvaneth.
Oh, in a big way, yeah.
When those come out. But eventually we'll go down and say, here's what we think the best Path to Glory, like ranking them and then, some explanation, cause I don't think
why.
Want to have a 6-hour, session where let's get into the nitty gritty and analyze every single thing.
I think one thing it does show, and I've been sort of trying to keep my eye on in the background as they release these Paths of Glory, I've been trying to see if they have a cohesive goal with the Path to Glory in each book, or if it's just literally, hey, let's take this book, now let's throw some Path to Glory stuff together. And I actually do believe that they have an overarching goal as to how Path to Glory should work at a macro level with all the factions involved. And if you notice that the inherently stronger books have a weaker path to glory system.
Yep.
They don't get as much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If the army is very finicky to play or very difficult to pull off, i.e. Fire Slayers and Maggot Ken of Nurgle, they have a path to glory system that takes them and puts them on an even keel with everybody else. And I think that shows that they do have a big picture roadmap of what path to glory should look like. And it gives me hope against hope, that one day we're going to see this maybe splash release. I don't know. Just out of nowhere, they're going to come out with Path to Glory 2022. And it's going to have all the systems in there, and you're going to be able to see how each one interacts.
Well, could you imagine? It'd be one of the biggest compendiums of not just all the different factions and stuff, but of battle plans.
Yeah.
Because each book has 2 to 3.
2 or 3, yeah.
You know, and so you build that up with the number of factions. I mean, that's going to be a book. Right?
And maybe a campaign system.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Path to Glory is a campaign, obviously, but, you know, something that would tie the whole thing together.
No, I'd be here for it.
Yeah.
I'd be here for it.
So, like I said, overall, B+, A-. It's hard to give anything an A when you look at Fire Slayers, because that is the true A+.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is definitely A- level B, because it's just so themey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the bell curve, it's going to be hard to get to Fire Slayers. Most things are close to Nighthaunt, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
this feels like the average, right? Done in such a way that it's very ghost themed.
I think you could find yourself in a place where you have points that you can't spend.
Yeah.
Just because you've hit limits, or you just literally don't have the ability to throw them out there. So,
one thing I would say, now that I think about it, in terms of, because this is like very fine-tooth comb, detail-oriented stuff. The one thing that the Nighthaunt book does that a lot of others don't do is that you have the haunted and exorcised mechanics of the territories.
Yep.
So that book actually brings a new mechanic to all other factions.
Yep.
Right? Which you can only get by interacting with, you know, the Nighthaunt players. So that's a big plus.
Yeah.
You know, just in overall design for Path to Glory. So I just want to get that out there before I forgot about it.
I see in my head a huge map campaign that GW could do, kind of on the order of the old Firestorm.
Yep.
But with the stickers representing the different kinds of terrains that you've basically taken, and the ability to visually represent all this stuff, and then have an ongoing store or even just local campaign. So easy to do, so easy to implement.
Yeah, and I'll just throw it out there. Not that GW is ever listening to us, but if you developed a full application specific to Path to Glory, where you could have the map internal to that, and it would go in, cool. You can add the territories, you can add, all of those things, have a way to keep track of stuff, because the journal's good, but it's not comprehensive.
Right.
And so with changes coming out and all that, we would need something that can flow with that. You just do it on a subscription basis, right?
I would pay money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tied into Warhammer TV, extra $1 a month, you get access to the Path to Glory system.
Yep.
That takes off. You do the same thing for Crusade.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there you go. I mean, app development, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that it can be done very quickly.
And when you get the right people on it, the people who are engaged and want to do it, I mean, look at War Scroll Builder. That was Tony P's thing, and they just were like, okay, this is where we want to be. We'll buy it, and now look, it's amazeballs.
It is.
So, yep. All right, that wraps up Nighthaunt Path to Glory. I think it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to cover the book like we normally would, because Christ, everybody's doing it. Yep. If you want a good hit on it, I don't know if Cubic Shenanigans has done it yet, but they will. I guarantee you, and that'll be great. But Russ has already done it. The Face Hammer guys have done it. So if you want the meat and potatoes, go to Face Hammer.
Yeah, I really like Face Hammer for that stuff.
Yeah.
They have such sober opinions on things, I should say.
And they dive down to here's the what and the why.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
Echoes
of Doom. So, wanted to cover this because it these box sets have always been a predictor of where certain things are going, right?
Yes.
Both these types of box sets as well as what's happening in Underworlds, right? But they're definitely expanding out to the different realms again,
Yes.
right? Because I think we're in Ulgu and Nethermaze.
Yeah.
This takes place in Akshi. And this was a really good, just quick read. I'm trying to think. I think it was a total of, 16 pages of reading. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a lot. There's a lot of artwork in here. And there's not depth of story, right? What we get here is sort of a history of certain things that are important, starting in the Age of Myth with these different characters and how they got to where they are. And then, it's sort of culminating in the crisis that's occurring within, this small book, right? And by the end of it, there's actually no resolution, right?
Which is good.
Yeah, because it's just setting it up. It's a foreshadowing effect. And it's a great way for them to explain new models.
And give these are obviously a sneak peek at how the Army's going to operate going forward.
Yeah. And if this is a sneak peek, y'all better watch out for Eshin because we're coming for you.
Jesus. I'm not playing this game anymore. Or any less.
Yeah,
But,
I'm just going to have, min units of 10 Eshin ninjas throwing poison stars, doing D3 mortal wounds on 6s. I'm going to try and be a little quick on this here. I definitely think everyone should read it, and I don't want to spoil some of the really good flavor of it. So the story essentially follows the Lady of Vines, and there's a spirit of Durthu. And they clarify if anyone was ever confused, oh no, I thought it was just one spirit of Durthu. No, they're spirits of Durthu. That is explained very well in here. So what happened? Right, so the overall story, just to give you the Reader's Digest version of it, is that you have Skritat, the Grey Seer, on his screaming bell, who has been driven to the edge of poverty after having purchased that screaming bell, who's looking to make not just a name for himself, but also to, get some money back in the coffers. And he comes up with this crazy idea, because he's a Skaven, crazy idea to go to, I think it's called either Neos or Neos, Neos, and steal soul pods from the Sylvaneth.
Oh, great plan.
Right?
Good plan.
Yeah. And he does.
They fight back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they came for it. He had hired a death master, Skaven death master named Vertic to come help. But Vertic had also been hired by another Grey Seer to, not overtly kill Skritat, which he doesn't do in the book, but to make it a problem.
Yeah.
Right? And if there's anything the Skaven are doing, it's good at causing problems for other Skaven. So that's the long and short of it, right? And then it follows the Lady of Vines and her hunting party hunt them down.
Yeah.
To try and get the soul pods back. But I mean, it even ends up that, Skritat makes a freaking realm gate. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that happens in here. But it gives us a lot of insight into some more of the Sylvaneth stuff. Still think it's a bunch of hippie crap, Bill. Right?
Yes,
that's
sir.
why you grew out your hair.
Yep.
Because you're going to play Sylvaneth.
I'm going to be Sylvaneth.
So the Lady of Vines, it talks about her and, her, how many times, not how many, but that she has been, killed and resurrected many times. She's literally, Alariel's hand got cut. She cut her wrist off and then grew the Lady of Vines.
Yep.
And the reason why the Lady of Vines looks like she does in the box is because the years of, rebirth and war have hardened her bark. And she's definitely a warlike entity, and her spear that she has, the Kernothiel spear, is a shard of Alariel's spear.
Yep.
So they make all those tie-ins, and it gives you an insight into kind of how that stuff works with the Sylvaneth. Gives you the history of, it talks about, the whole issue with Nurgle and Gyran and all that, and then the rebirth and everything that occurs.
Well, yeah, if you look at the Lady of Vines model, she's stomping on a Plaguebringer.
Yep.
Plague bearer. So
she's got anger.
Issues.
That's an angry tree. Angry tree. But then it also gives more insight into Skaven society, just how backstabby they are.
Oh, yeah.
The main Skaven city in Akshi is Chakrik's Folly. And
a great story.
The reason why it's called Chakrik's Folly is because a while past, there was a Verminous lord who wanted to establish the city, right? And he did. He worked hard, and like because of how it actually works in the fires and the heat and the melting and everything, it took so long for them to build up this gigantic warren, right? But they did. And then when he was giving a speech, on top of this platform, someone had rigged it so that way it would collapse, and he fell into a cage full of half asleep rat ogres, who then became fully awake rat ogres who were super angry at the giant dude that just fell in. And as, he fought and fought, he killed 3 of them before they took him down. But the Skaven are such little bastards that they're taking bets on it, right? But because he lasted for so long, right, they named the place after him. So that's why it's Chakrick's Folly. It's just hilarious how just conniving they are. There are little things in there too that I thought were interesting. So apparently clan rats are the smallest of the rat folk, and they are 4 to 5 feet tall.
Wow.
So they're actually pretty tall.
Yeah, they're big things.
So storm vermin are going to probably be, the height of a normal human being.
Yeah.
Right. If you want a sort of, size comparison.
Well, model wise, they're on par with Stormcast, right? No, they're
storm
actually
vermin,
a little bigger.
Storm vermin are smaller.
Are they really?
Yeah. I think it was storm fiends.
Oh, I am. I'm thinking of Storm Fiends. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Storm vermin are the more armored
Yeah.
rats as opposed to the Gatling arm rats. So they storm vermin are probably about human sized. It's really interesting just seeing the little ways they try and go at each other, and the Skaven are just insane.
Yeah.
They are insane.
Well, I mean, that's, I saw there's an old quote from the old world that if the Skaven ever got one leader and started to work in one direction, they would be the most terrifying thing.
Oh yeah.
In the realms, or, the old world, but in the realms, the beauty of it is if they ever got together under one banner, they would just kill all of each other. So you don't have to really worry about them doing that.
Right.
But Skaven, some people think of them as the comic relief. They're just there to mess up Nagash's plans. Well, not really. I mean, they actually do have goals, and they do have things that they do. It's just that they can't ever gang up and become powerful like some of the other factions do.
Yeah.
Thank God, because if they did, an army of Warplock Bombardiers. No.
Yeah, they lose more for virtue in themselves than their enemies, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the rules have always kind of reflected that. Though the changes coming up, at least as they're hinted at in the rules here, is that they are getting a good bump to some things. Clan Rat's going to a static 5-up save.
Yeah.
Storm Vermin to a static 4-up save. I do think there's an issue in terms of how things are written in this release for the Skaven stuff. But
again, we're still kind of in a vacuum.
Yeah.
We don't see the book. We just see this overview. So I'm hopeful that they have made them into a strong force again.
I keep thinking of the Grey Seer, because the Grey Seer has that ability to, once it takes 7 or more wounds, right?
Boy.
You can try and do a stirring beyond the veil, and you roll a dice. On a 1, the dude's destroyed.
Right.
On a 2+, you add the number of wounds it suffered, and if you get 13 or more, you summon a Vermin Lord, and the bell is destroyed. If you do anything but a 1, but not a 13+, the bell's destroyed.
Yeah.
And so it incentivizes you to take significant enough damage to be able to summon a Vermin Lord, right? It's got 15 wounds at a 4-up save.
So you're going to want to hold off.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't kill it on one, if you leave this thing alive on 1 wound, there's a Vermin Lord that's coming for your face.
It's coming for you.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. And I kept thinking about it more and more as we've just been talking. And it just makes me think of like if a Primarch could have a rhino that drove it up there, and once it was able to roll a certain number, he would just pop out of the rhino. Because that's kind of what that is.
That would be terrifying.
Right?
Yes.
It's like, it's 265 points for this Grey Seer, who, by the way, counts as a wizard, but can count as a priest when he wants to.
Yeah.
And gets bonuses to casting and chanting. And there's a lot of really interesting stuff that the Grey Seer does. But then, if you don't kill it, in one sweep, it's got 10 wounds on it. You're like, oh, by the way, here's a Vermin Lord.
Yeah.
For free. You just summon it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's awesome. It's so Skaven.
Yeah. I could see people running multiple Grey Seers just to try and trigger that effect.
Try to bring that up. Yep.
I guess it kind of depends on the cost of the Vermin Lords. But again, if a Vermin Lord's approximately 265, right?
Yeah.
Then you chew through 15 wounds. Then you have to chew through another 14 wounds.
Yeah.
Or 13, depending on the model, I guess. Yeah, that's nothing to scoff at.
But it's so Skaven because you're fighting one thing and then all of a sudden that thing is something else.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the hell just happened? And that is so Skaven.
Well, I like that it's sort of what it's hinting at what Vermin Lords are.
Yeah.
You know, like a stirring from beyond the veil. Like it's this like very evil, horrific type of thing. You know, the bell finally cracks, right?
Yeah.
And then a Vermin Lord appears and it's so horrific that it's actually, you know, something that means something. I'm excited for that part. Because I've got my Vermin Lord Deceiver, fingers crossed, Eshin's ridiculous. And then the Warp Seer.
Yeah. I have great hopes for both of those books, the Skaven book and the Sylvaneth book, just because it looks like they're going to make Sylvaneth into a far more elite army that can play 3rd edition easily.
Very mobile.
Yeah. Oh, God. Just some of the drops and hints have been, oh, my God, they can do what? They can go in, charge, fight, and then leave? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. But, you know, at the same time, the Skaven should be able to do that too, because that's always been a thing for them.
Fight, retreat.
Is go in, stab, get out. Because they don't like to take damage. They don't like to get hurt. They're literally cowards.
Yep.
But when you get enough of them together, they're very strong. So I'm looking forward to both of these books. And it's stupid Horus Heresy has to come out for the next 3 weeks, so we probably won't see that till the end of the month.
I'm okay with that. Because I had to put a lot of money into Horus Heresy now.
I can see
I'm going to.
Saturday being a bad day. Yeah.
Remember, it's multiple weeks of pre-order.
Yes, 3
So,
weeks.
You know, budget it out.
God, it's crazy.
Right? I'm going to get that Necromunda Ash Waste box in finally and be like, yeah, well, Anders, it came too late. I want Horus Heresy.
Yeah, I'm returning this.
Yeah.
It no longer interests me.
It doesn't. More After Dark. But anyway, yeah, I really think you all should go read this.
Yep.
I just want to get you little snippets and stuff, but like what it hints at is that what Skritat does here has far-reaching consequences that no one could have, perceived happening, right? Him, stealing the soul pods, him creating a realm gate, and the aftermath of what's going to happen, right? I'm sure he's going to die, but at the end of it, it seems like hell's about to break loose.
Yep. Which is great foreshadowing for the books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fun stuff today. Very narrative. Yeah. Thank you all for sticking around. I'm sure we probably ended up getting almost 2 hours, but
probably. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if you're a Patreon, stay tuned for After Dark, guys.
Stormcast are cool.
Coming to you almost live from the dreadful caves of Dread in Rio Ranch. Reading is fundamental. Stop. Now you made me self-conscious. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us at our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at rolling_bad. Our individual Twitters are, for me, at Bill Castello, BILLCASTELLO. And for Josh, you can reach him at Anoyo, ANOYOE. All the guests on the show will have their contact information in that show's show notes. The music in the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and is used under the Creative Commons license. The Rolling Bad podcast itself is protected under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Information for this license can be found at creativecommons.org.